We don't need to live like slaves. Today we need to finalize if the situation is not right. It doesn't matter. People's behavior are not right. It doesn't matter. Let me ask you, what is in our control? Our thoughts? And if my thoughts are right, if our thoughts are right, our situations will eventually become fine. Our destiny will become beautiful. Our thoughts create our karmas create our destiny. If we create wrong thoughts, what happens to our destiny? It will have issues. If you actually reflect, is our mind dependent on the situation? Or is the situation created according to the state of our mind? Who influences whom? Situation is dependent on our state of mind. We reverse the equation itself and we said our state of mind is dependent on other situation. And because we reverse the equation, everything started becoming complicated. Just place any situation or just place yourself in any situation, literally any situation. Because if we don't pay attention to the equation, then even in small scenes of our life, our state of mind is fluctuating. But if you set the equation right, no matter what situation you are placed in, the state of mind will be stable, peaceful, happy, and loving always. Because this is not dependent on the situation. I mean to say, the mind is not dependent upon the situation. Now, suppose the other person insults me, they do it repeatedly. Can we be respectful to them? They are behaving in their ways. How should we behave? We should be our way. They will behave in their way, and we should behave in our way. Who stops us from talking to them lovingly? Check who stops us so that we can eliminate that barrier. Who stops us from talking to them nicely to them? Our ego stops us. What does our ego tell us at that moment? This person insulted us and said unpleasant things. I want to talk to them lovingly. But what does my ego tell me at that moment? It says just one line. What is it? It says, why should I talk nicely to them? Why should I be nice? Tit for tat. Which means if you were not nice to me, what should I do? I should not be nice to them. Life is so simple. They did that, so I also did the same. And then a few minutes they did something else, so I also did the same. And then once again they did something and I also copied them. Life is so simple, isn't it? But as I kept copying their behavior, what happened? It is simple. It's like saying, they fell, so I also fell. Then they fell, so I also fell. They had a very bad fall, so I had a bad fall. Because someone who is not behaving right, that person is falling from his state of natural health. And because he fell, we also fell. They kept falling, and we also kept falling. By falling so many times, they started becoming weak. We also we kept looking at them and kept falling. So today they are in here being weak. There is an energy residing here, the soul, which is energy. If the soul is powerful and if it remains stable regardless of other people's behavior, then it will always remain happy. If this is always happy, then the body will always be healthy. If this is happy always, then our relationship will be harmonious. I means the soul. But if the mind said, they did this way, so I also responded the same way. When this happened repeatedly, since how many days are we doing it? Since lifetimes. Not since many years, but since many lifetimes. And we have reached the stage where today we don't even know our power. Our life is so longer in our life is no longer in our control. But now even our mind is also not in our control. When both of them go out of control, life becomes very difficult. Today, our words are not in our control. We say, I didn't intend to say this, but words slipped off. How many of us experience it and then say, slip off the tongue? Just think. When we say, words just slipped out of the mouth, I am saying I have no control over myself. Not a very good sign. So, first we lost control of our mind, and then we lost control of our over our words. Sometimes we lose control of over our hands. Sometimes we lose control over our karmas, which means we cannot create a destiny of our choice. So do not look at your destiny and ask, why is this happening to me? The reason is it is happening to me is because I did not create the right thought, right word, and the right karma. Instead, I only reacted to situations and people's behavior, and therefore, the way their destiny is, my destiny also becomes similar to theirs. So, when our ego lovingly comes and tells us, why should I be nice to them? Answer it lovingly. What is the answer? Why should we do the right karma when they are not being right to us? Why should I be right to them? We have to answer that. The ego will ask us once or twice, why are you interested in being so nice to people? Not only does our ego speak, but ego of people around us also speak. People tell us there is no need to be so good in today's times. You are trying to be like King Harishchandra. This is how it egos and around us speak. Pe- Today people don't support us enough when we do a good karma because they are also speaking through their ego. They will go to the extent of saying, if you are so good, then the other person will take due advantage of your goodness. That person will take you for granted. If the world takes us for granted, if they believe about us as no matter what happens, this person remains strong, isn't that a big achievement? I'm waiting for the day when the world can take me for granted.